Listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Carmen and the devil walking side by side. I said, hey, Carmen, come on, let's go downtown. She said, I gotta go.
Welcome back to Our Daily Show, 922. A little bit of change on this 19th day of March. We're almost there. We are less than 2 weeks away from April the 1st, the consolidated election. Our State of the Race coverage continues with Martha Pfister, candidate for Ward Alderwoman. How are you today?
Good. Thanks for having me again.
Glad to have you back in the studio. And, how are things looking? You were on a couple of, about 2 months ago, and you were feeling pretty good about where things were meeting voters. And where are we at now?
Yeah, I think when I was here in January, it was like I was still climbing over snow just to get in the building. So I have been knocking on doors. I was just looking at my calendar. There's one weekend I was out of town that I didn't since January. That was the only one I missed. So every weekend I've been just Saturday, give some people some time to get up, and then I go pick a street and knock on some doors. So, yeah. Well,
and, what have you learned in those, couple of months and along the way as you've kind of, gotten into your footing with this campaign?
Yeah. I've met a lot of people and been in a lot of different neighborhoods. I think what resonates most with people when I talk about what I want to do, or they look at, I pass out my materials, and when they know what I want to do, they're excited about ward meetings. So people really just want to know what's going on, and they want to be connected to their alderperson. So that's come up a lot. And it's also just been a good opportunity to get in, learn every street. I knew the parameters, but to get in the neighborhoods and see what's there.
Well, and when you're knocking on those doors, what have the conversations been like? What are some of their top of mind priorities in Ward 2 that you're hearing of, and some of the values too?
Yeah. Most people say something about the roads, so I don't have to talk about that.
That's kind of a common concern on,
and then just wanting to know what an alderperson does and how they can get. Just knowing those things. And when I talk about meetings, I plan to have, if I'm elected, to have standing monthly meetings for Ward 2. Anybody could come, but it'd be focused on Ward 2 and what's going on in the city. So people resonate a lot with that. And they just, they want to be connected in that way.
And, let's say, everything goes well and you're elected April the 1st. What do those Ward 2 meetings look like in your mind?
So I want to keep, it can be hard because I think when you open yourself up to a town hall, I'm tough. I can listen to people's complaints, but I don't want people to feel down or negative when they come. Right. So I want them to be an opportunity to come and share their concerns, but also just keep it brief, keep it focused on an agenda, keep it positive. I love the opportunity to bring in people. I don't know how often it'd be, but it's just to get people excited and keep coming. Say okay, on the agenda this time, we're going to have, this city employee come in, or somebody who works in an organization in Alton. Cool. Yeah, I would love to do that. I don't have anybody on the books yet, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Just, keeping it open, but keeping it, how those meetings can get. So just keeping it on
sure
task.
It's still productive.
And, productive is a great way to say it. Yeah.
And as you're, going forward too, you had the forum, and, take me through that opportunity for you, because for some individuals, I don't know if that was your first time in a candidates forum or not, but what was that moment like for, being and seeing a room that was honestly full of people? Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of people that cared about what, the candidates had to say.
I thought, I was really encouraged by how full it was. I thought it was well promoted and it was organized. I know that, people wanted, I heard some people say I came to the forum and they didn't have questions for you. That would have been so long if we all had questions.
I'll give you that one. That would have been very long.
But I would be open to, I've had people reach out and I've met with them in person. So I'm happy to answer any questions. But I thought it went well. It was a good opportunity for me to think, I've got 3 minutes. What do I feel is most important, and what do I think would connect with people? And I was also really encouraged how many people watched online. So afterwards, I had text messages of people who were watching. I've met people, even just last weekend, someone said, I saw what you said at the forum. I liked what you had to say. So that was really encouraging. And I appreciate that it was accessible for everyone, even if they couldn't go.
Well, and now, too, just on the flip side of that, because I always think it's nice where the forum is because it's really a good halfway point or close to a halfway point, because that's really kind of where it was, because January is really the thick of it. And then you got the last, month and 2 weeks to kind of keep fighting. But when you're after that and people see you and they hear what you're having to say, do they start asking you a little bit more about, certain topics of what a city business is going on right now? Have you been able to have those conversations with folks? And, I don't want you to have to spill the, the beans or the secrets or anything, but what are those conversations looking like for you?
I've had people ask specific questions about like what I said. I did get a lot of feedback that people felt it was positive. And so I was happy with that. I do have people who ask about specific things going on with the city. Yeah. And it's hard because I'm not in the position yet. I don't have all the information, but I tell them what I think. I usually tell them the pros and the cons, and just kind of, because part of it is hearing what they have to say. So I have a lot of knowledge and background on things, but it's not for me to just say, this is what we're going to do. So part of it is hearing what they have to say. So I always try to answer in a way that I can feel like I get their opinion, because that's part of the job.
Right. And have you had a chance to talk with the other alderman candidates yet, or, some of the other people that are already in these positions, just to kind of keep that conversation going for you? Yeah,
I would say I've kind of just through, the forum and things like that, I'm seeing them a lot. And I probably haven't dug too much in on actual issues yet with them, but
no point yet in doing that. Well, you could be,
it's good. And I try to listen to the meetings as well. So current, I get there when I can, but a lot of times I listen since you guys stream it. I listen, so I kind of hear from the different current alder people that way.
Well, that's good to know. For the constituents and the voters that are looking to know a little bit more about some of the work that you're doing to prepare for this too. And I remember you saying that you were doing the last time. I think in January you were mentioning something about how you were researching and really trying all your best to learn the role of that alder person.
Yes, I did order. So I ordered the Robert's Rule of Order guide. Did you? And you see a picture of it on Amazon and you see the cover, and I do this. I'll order something and I don't realize it's like this thick. And I'm like, okay, but that's So I haven't dug into it yet, but I try to follow the. The process and learn about laying things over and tabling and kind of why the government works this way and what it means and how that stays efficient. Yeah. So
I remember you mentioning something about that last time.
I like to learn and dig in. So yeah.
Well, and as you're walking, down Ward 2, especially now that the snow's starting to melt, are you looking to do any beautification or anything like that when it comes to not necessarily repaving every road, because that's more of the infrastructure side, but when it just comes to beautification of lots and litter and all the important issues there? Yeah,
litter. Well, the last time I went to I think last week I was at the committee of a whole meeting and Rusty Wheat was there talking about what he has available. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity for everyone to do a litter cleanup. April 12th, I think, is Pride Incorporated's litter cleanup day. So a lot of it is really just encouraging people to do that on their own as far as litter. And a lot of things, like he mentioned, get the garbage pickup things. It's not always somebody's just throwing stuff, but it's just true. We got a lot of trash and it overflows. So definitely that's important. I think it shows that we care when we're taking care of stuff like that. It shows that this is a community that takes care of itself. As far as other kinds of beautification, I care a lot about parks. And one thing I'll say is I've looked at what parks we have, and I know like Dorman Park had some work recently, and I haven't talked to people in those neighborhoods specifically about parks to find out what they want, but we have a lot. And it's not necessarily that I want to build new parks, but the ones we have, can we is there grant funding to improve them, upgrade playgrounds, things like that?
100%. And it just when, I take the dog, because I do live in Ward 2, and I take the dog for, the walk and all that. It's just, some of the things that I talk to the neighbors about, and that seems like it's on their mind. And Martha, always enjoy talking to you. I'm going to stick around.
Yeah.
We'll keep this conversation going. It's 9:31, little bit of change, more conversation with Martha Pfister as our State of the Race coverage 2025 continues next.
get access to care for anyone, anywhere, at any time. No appointments, no waiting rooms, no traveling. OSF on call.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois, with specials 5 days a week. Mondays roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab select 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, Daily Show hitting you. 9:35, a little bit of change. Oh, we are getting closer and closer to April the 1st. Are a lot of people in your mind early voting, do you think?
That's a great question. I would love to know. I do think people are. And I don't know the numbers on in past elections if people are voting early, but I know, some people are voting by mail, have already done that. And yeah, I know people, I'm hearing people are getting out there. It started yesterday. So, and that's a good thing that you brought that up. Scott Bibbs Center. I keep forgetting the exact address. It's on 5th Street, I believe.
The old St. Patrick's School.
Yeah. And so you can check the hours on that. So early voting began yesterday. You've got this week, Saturday hours, I believe, are like 9 to noon, and then they'll end early voting the weekend before. So, yeah.
And what do your next couple of weeks look like for you?
Well, I've hit a lot of houses. I've got a few more streets that I want to get to. So that's what I'll be doing this Saturday. And on the 29th, I haven't totally worked out my plan yet, but I'm gathering a group of volunteers to kind of hit the streets again and just get those reminders out for people who are voting day of on April 1st.
Really cool. And, as things are going forward, have you thought about what that day one or that first month looks like for you? Is it going to be, if you win, is it going to be just kind of absorbing the knowledge? Is it going to start that collaboration process? What's it look like for you?
Yeah, I think that the first thing will be, I've been connecting with people and hearing what they have to say. So I think getting that first Ward 2 meeting on the books and kind of really figuring out how to connect with more people. So I meet people door to door, but I want to make sure that they know the meetings are happening. And so I've collected email addresses where I can, but just getting news out, whether it's through RiverBender or just kind of getting things out so people can read that they're happening, and kind of getting organized that way and just making sure people know how to get in touch with me.
What's the most surprising aspect of Ward 2? Like, just for you, now that you've really been kind of invested in really learning the entire ward?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, it's probably more personally just that there are some streets that I had not been to before. So there's definitely neighborhoods where, when I'm in Hop Hollow, when I was growing up, that was a new neighborhood, and I had friends there, and so I spent a lot of time there. So a lot of those neighborhoods I know, but some of them I don't. I knew the street was there, and I've gone down some streets where I'm like, wow, these are fantastic houses. If I'm gonna move, I can stay in the ward and just check this neighborhood out. So I think it's really diverse in the type of homes there are and the types of neighborhoods.
Well, and when it comes to Ward 2 and just the city council as a whole, obviously you need the 4 votes to move measures across the finish line in most cases, but you also have to be able to collaborate with other organizations and your ward too, especially with the North Alton Godfrey Business Council. There's some other things going on. Have you taken a look at some of those groups that you think that could maybe be a benefit for you?
Yeah, collaboration is important to me. It's one of my 3 main values that I've been trying to come back to, and so I do think there's a big opportunity in North Alton to connect with those groups. Really cool. I focused a lot on getting in touch with school board members or different nonprofits, but the businesses for sure. There's so much in North Alton, and so staying connected to those businesses, I think, would be a great way to collaborate.
Well, and have you ever started to look back, just the campaign as it's been this time around, or do you think it's still too early for you to kind of do that?
To connect with
those?
No,
just to reflect back, and think about, kind of, where you started and why you're doing this, because that's where I kind of find things fascinating too, from the personal side, because running for local office is tough. I mean, it's not, I keep telling people I'd rather run for president any day of the week because I don't know half these people, but when you're in your own neighborhoods and your community, it does get a little bit tougher. Yeah, I if I were going to reflect on it, it's just been, I would say, it's there's a lot of growth in it, not just learning a lot, but also just you really have to put yourself out there. When at the beginning, I was just the thought of my name being on a sign in somebody's yard was super weird, or putting my face on things. And now I'm just sure, we'll just do it. So you kind of have to be ready to be this is what I believe in and I think is important. And I'm comfortable with that and just move forward. So that's been a really good process for me. Really cool to know. And, as things keep winding down, I know that you have some door knocking left to do, and you're having that volunteer group come out. Do you have a watch party planned or anything like that yet? People keep asking me that, and I don't have one planned yet. I'm not really sure what to think about it. I've been asking people, what do you do? And my mom, that was the first thing my mom asked me. She's you have to have a watch party, because she's all about where's the party? So, just because she worked for my mom, Margaret Rankin, worked for the city for a lot of years, so she just always knew people were doing that. So, to be honest, I'm not sure what that's going to look like. I'm just focusing up until that point, and then we'll see. That's and do you think that? And we talked a little bit about this the first time you were on a couple of months ago. But do you think that your past roles and just some of the things that you've done, do you think it really helped prepare you, or is this one of those where you really have to learn as you go? It's a mix of those things. Is it really? I believe. So fascinating. I'm learning as you go is also, I think I take a lot of initiative. So it's not so much learning as I go where I'm waiting for someone to tell me what to do, but I see what I need to know, and then I'll learn. I'll ask the right questions. And as far as my background, I've worked with a lot. I know I talked last time working with a lot of different nonprofits, and just having that ability to know how to reach out to someone, know kind of what they might expect from me, how these kinds of organizations work, as well as just
even since I lived away for a while, I came back to Alton, but I jumped right in with volunteering with Alton Main Street, Jacoby, the overnight warming locations. I've hosted some. When I first moved here, I only had 2 kids at the time, and they were pretty little, and I was like looking for things to do with them. There wasn't a lot of things indoors. So I've done a lot of working with different organizations to do play spaces. I've done that at Post Commons. I've done it here when you guys had the RiverBender Community Center before it became the iMerge. So just all those experiences of organizing people and being able to reach out to an organization and start a meeting. All those little things have been great experiences for me.
Well, and that's just something I'm always fascinated about, because it just seems like there's some things that you never really can prepare for, but it's good to know that, and just hearing some of your volunteerism and some of the work that you've done with the local groups is good too for voters. Yeah.
It's just it's such a good way to get connected. We have so many organizations that do a lot for Alton. So it's like I want to give them all the credit for all the things they do and work together with them.
And, have you had, any of the conversations yet? And this is what I think is kind of a good thing, too, for your voters and constituents and really across the city for every candidate is, there's been this kind of issue of I won't want to say abandoned properties, but just houses that might not be what they're used for. It might be a single family unit, but it turns into 4 or 5 families living in that. And it's I don't know what that circumstance is, but you also have, dilapidated properties and things. So what are your what's that first step when someone's kind of going, if I'd vote for you, if you can get that house taken down, or if you can make sure that this, is slowing down. What does that first conversation look like when because I'm sure they have. Yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up, because when you were asking me about questions, I don't remember what my answer was, but that's actually a big one is home ownership and rentals. And it's not, it's been a good balance for me, because I've learned a lot about why they have those feelings. So it's not that we don't want opportunities for people to be able to rent, like they're, people are not ready to buy, they've just moved to Alton. But in neighborhoods where people want to know their neighbors and they want them there for a while, they don't want someone to buy a place and then they've constantly have people going through and renting. So for me, it's a balance. I know, and that is an area I have a little bit to learn as far as what is the potential that a building has. So I know sometimes we're demolishing things. I want to keep all of the older homes that we have that we can. And I know a lot of people want money to be put into, can we have someone buy this? Can we assist them with that? And we do have those programs at the city. We do have first-time home buyer programs, but there's only so much money we give out. There's a wait list for them. And so that's something I definitely want to learn more about, because that's one of the biggest things that does come up. Is
it really? Wow.
It's just people wanting in their neighborhoods for there to be people purchasing and then living in those homes. And I think that there's this conception that can come across as somebody being against renters, but what I think it really is about is we just want people to stay here and be neighbors and not be kind of in and out. So there's definitely a lot of facets to it.
Is there anything else that that's kind of similar to that you think is important for your constituents to know about?
Let's see. What did I go over? I got that. Like I said, the streets are always an issue. And I think people just want to know. One thing I would say is when people ask for things from the city, they want to know if it doesn't happen or they don't hear back, they just want to know, okay, this didn't work out because of this. And so I'm sure that can be overwhelming and you're just communicating with a lot of people, but just that follow-up is, some people want to hear more follow-up on why something happened or couldn't happen.
Very good point, too. Well, and Martha, it's been great talking with you. And I know that, you're right almost at the finish line. You got 2 more weeks left to go. We've had really just great coverage all, season long, but also to have you on a couple of times just to see how things were in January and where they are now. What's your final thought? We're a couple of weeks away. What do you want Ward 2 constituents to know and that final kind of message for them here on the air today? Yeah. Like I've always been saying, community, connection, and collaboration. So if you want to connect with me, if you have a question, my website, RiverBender.com, I have an
inquiry form there. My email address is on there, so please do reach out. And if you are a Ward 2 resident who wants to be on an email list, if I'm elected, and you want to know when those meetings are, there's a sign-up form for that as well.
Really cool. Well, Martha, best of luck as the campaign comes to a close. And looking forward to hopefully talking to you on April 1st in some way or form, because we will be covering the consolidated election that evening.
Great.
With that being said, we'll take a quick break. We'll link everything on a write-up on RiverBender.com, and make sure that you stay connected as we keep gearing up to the consolidated election on April the 1st. 9:46. My sinuses are killing me. More Daily Show next on RiverBender.com.